Ladies and gentlemen, time is not just a ticking clock. It is life itself in motion. Every tick of the second hand is a silent reminder that life is not waiting on anyone. Time is life. When we talk about time management, we are not merely speaking about being punctual or filling calendars. We are dealing with the very essence of existence. Every moment you live is a slice of your life you will never retrieve again. It cannot be saved, paused, or recycled. Once it is gone, it becomes history. Therefore, to waste time is not just poor planning, it is an insult to life itself. Many people measure life by the number of years they live. But life is not measured in years, it is measured in how well you use your time. A person can live 80 years and still not fulfill purpose, while another lives 40 years and changes the world. The difference is not in the number of years, but in the management of those years. Time is the currency you spend to purchase your destiny. When you spend your time wisely, you are investing in your future. When you spend it carelessly, you are robbing your own potential. We often confuse being busy with being productive. But business does not mean effectiveness. A person can be busy doing what is irrelevant, going nowhere fast. True productivity comes from aligning your time with your purpose. When you understand why you were born, you begin to filter your decisions through that awareness. You stop saying yes to everything and start saying yes to what truly matters. Because every time you say yes to one thing, you are saying no to something else, and if you're not careful, you may be saying no to the very thing you were meant to do. The tragedy is not in death, but in a life that never truly lived. And the root of that tragedy is often poor time management. You see, life is a gift, but how you use it is your gift in return. The Creator gave you time not to waste it in survival, but to invest it in significance. What you do with your time reveals what you value. If you value entertainment over education, you will spend your time being amused instead of being improved. If you value comfort over growth, you will spend your time avoiding discomfort and as a result delay your own development. Time is also a test. How you manage it proves whether you are ready for more. Some people pray for elevation but misuse the time they already have. Time management is stewardship. And stewardship qualifies you for greater responsibility. If you cannot manage 1 hour, you cannot manage a day. If you waste a day, you waste a week. And if you waste a week, you waste a season. Eventually, a life is wasted, not because it lacked potential, but because it lacked order. In the end, your life will be the sum total of how you managed your moments. Time is not on your side, it is your responsibility. You cannot control how much time you are given, but you can control how you use what you have. So treat time with honor. Because when you manage time wisely, you are managing your life with wisdom. Purpose is the compass that guides time. Without purpose, time has no direction, and when time lacks direction, life becomes a cycle of motion without meaning. One of the most dangerous things a person can experience is success in the wrong assignment. You can be active, admired, even rewarded, but if it is not aligned with your purpose, it is simply well-decorated mismanagement of time. When you discover your purpose, everything begins to change, especially how you use your time. Purpose gives your schedule clarity. It tells you what deserves your energy and what must be avoided. It becomes the filter through which every decision is passed. Without purpose, time is managed by pressure. The pressure of people's opinions, the demands of emergencies, the urgency of trends. But with purpose, time is managed by priorities, the priorities that align with your reason for existence. It is important to understand that time was never designed to lead you. You were designed to lead time. But only people with purpose can lead time effectively. Purpose provides the why behind everyone. If you don't know your why, your calendar will be filled with other people's agendas. This is why so many individuals feel busy but unfulfilled. They have schedules full of activity, but their hearts remain empty. The reason: time without purpose is like money without value. It gets spent quickly but achieves little. When you live by purpose, procrastination begins to die. You no longer delay what matters because you see it as part of your assignment. Purpose injects urgency into your time. You realize that what you are doing now is not just for now, it is part of a divine schedule. Time becomes sacred. You start to feel responsible for how you live each day. You begin to ask questions like, is this helping me fulfill my assignment? Is this conversation feeding or draining my purpose? Is this commitment building or breaking my momentum? Many people think time management is about finding the best app, technique, or planner. But true time management starts with understanding why you exist. If you don't know that, no tool will help you. A well-organized life without purpose is still a wasted life. Purpose tells you not just what to do, but also what not to do. It delivers you from the paralysis of trying to be everything to everyone. You were never designed for that. When you manage your time according to purpose, you stop competing and start completing. You begin to measure success not by comparison, but by obedience to your assignment. You no longer need applause to feel valuable because you are aligned with something greater than public opinion. You are aligned with destiny. So, if you want to manage time wisely, begin by seeking purpose deeply. Don't rush to fill your schedule, rush to understand your reason. When purpose becomes clear, time becomes focused. And when time is focused, success is no longer accidental. It is intentional. Planning is not a luxury, it is a necessity for anyone who values their time. To live without a plan is to give permission for chaos to govern your life. Many people wake up each day and hope that something good will happen, but hope without a plan is wishful thinking. Planning is the act of taking control of your time before circumstances or people do. It is how vision becomes strategy and strategy becomes results. A plan is not simply a to-do list. It is a clear map that shows how you intend to move from where you are to where you are supposed to be. If you fail to plan, you are not just unprepared, you are unprotected. Without a plan, you leave your time vulnerable to distractions, interruptions, and emergencies. But when you have a plan, you become proactive instead of reactive. You begin to direct your day instead of letting your day direct you. Planning is proof of foresight. It means you value your future enough to prepare for it now. It is the habit of successful people because they understand that success is never accidental. Even natural growth, like that of a tree, follows an internal blueprint. Likewise, your life needs a blueprint. Every great accomplishment begins with a plan, whether it's building a house, launching a business, or fulfilling a personal goal. Nothing meaningful happens consistently without structure, and structure is born out of planning. Some people avoid planning because they say it feels restrictive. But in reality, planning creates freedom, the freedom to focus, to say no, and to protect your energy. A plan gives you clarity on what matters so you can eliminate what doesn't. It saves you from decision fatigue because your priorities are already established. It saves you from regret because you spend your time intentionally. Without a plan, even the most passionate person will fail. Passion without planning leads to exhaustion. You can have talent, drive, and enthusiasm, but if your efforts are scattered, your results will be minimal. Planning channels your energy. It gives your time a target. Just as a river is more powerful when it is directed, your life becomes more impactful when it flows through a focused plan. Planning also invites accountability. When you write down your plan, it becomes visible. You can measure your progress, adjust your steps, and track your growth. It helps you confront your weaknesses and build on your strengths. A good plan is flexible, not rigid. It adjusts to reality, but it always points toward purpose. Finally, planning honors time. It says to your future, I see you coming and I'm getting ready. It transforms ordinary days into stepping stones for extraordinary outcomes. So don't leave your time to chance. Don't just drift through your days. Think ahead, write it down, schedule your priorities, and follow through. When you learn to plan well, you begin to live well, because a planned life is a productive life, And productivity, guided by purpose, is a pathway to success. Discipline is the bridge between intentions and results. Many people desire success, they dream of greatness, and they make declarations of change, but without discipline, none of those things will ever be realized. Time, in its raw form, offers opportunity, but discipline is what converts opportunity into achievement. You cannot manage time without first managing yourself. And managing yourself begins with discipline. Discipline is the internal governor that tells you what must be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It is the ability to delay pleasure for the sake of purpose. It is the refusal to let emotions drive decisions. Time management without discipline is like a ship with no sail, directionless and vulnerable to the winds of distraction. Discipline sets the course and keeps you steady even when motivation fades. In a world full of options, discipline helps you choose what aligns with your goals and purpose. It teaches you to say no to what is good so you can say yes to what is best. Time will always be under attack from entertainment, from noise, from procrastination, and from the expectations of others. Only the discipline can protect it. Every time you check your phone aimlessly, every time you binge without reason, every time you delay a meaningful task, you are letting time leak out of your life. Discipline seals those leaks. Great achievements do not come from spurts of effort, but from consistent, disciplined action. Waking up early one day won't make you successful. Reading one book won't make you wise. Saving once won't make you wealthy. But when these things are done consistently, day in and day out, even when they are inconvenient, that's when time starts to yield fruit. And the strength to be consistent comes from discipline. Discipline is also the power to keep promises to yourself. Many people trust others more than they trust themselves because they have broken too many of their own commitments. Discipline restores that integrity. When you say, I will do this, and you follow through, even when it's hard, even when no one is watching, you build trust with yourself. And a person who trusts themselves can be trusted with time, responsibility, and leadership. It's important to note that discipline is not about being harsh or rigid. It's about being intentional. It's not punishment. It's protection. It protects your future from being sabotaged by present impulses. Discipline is the guardian that stands at the gate of your time and filters what is allowed in and what must be rejected. You don't stumble into success. You structure your life in such a way that success becomes a byproduct of daily discipline. Even your energy follows your structure. You will feel better, think clearer, and move faster when your life is aligned with order. So if you truly want to manage time well, begin by mastering discipline. Because when discipline becomes your habit, excellence becomes your lifestyle. And your time becomes a weapon, not a weakness. Every second is not just a passing moment, it is a seed loaded with potential. Time is not empty, it is pregnant with opportunity. And just like a seed carries the possibility of a forest, every moment carries the power to shape your future. The issue is not whether time contains value. The real question is whether you are sowing it or wasting it. You see, what you do with your time is not just a reflection of your priorities, it is a prophecy of your future. Every decision you make, every habit you build, every conversation you choose to entertain is a seed sown into your destiny. Time does not lie. It tells the truth about your discipline, your focus, and your values. The way you treat your minutes reveals the way you will handle your years. This is why time management cannot be casual. It must be intentional. You don't stumble into a meaningful life, you plant your way there. Just like a farmer carefully selects where and when to sow seed, you must learn to treat each moment as a sacred investment. A moment of learning today could produce wisdom tomorrow. A moment of rest today could restore energy for the task ahead. A moment of silence could sharpen your thoughts. Nothing is wasted if it is sown with purpose. But here lies the danger. When you don't recognize the seed inside of time, you treat time as though it were disposable. You allow distractions to consume your minutes, assuming there will always be more. But just like a farmer who fails to plant in the right season, those who ignore the value of now will face a harvest of regret later. You cannot reap what you do not sow. People often say, "I'll do it tomorrow," not realizing that every tomorrow begins with the seeds you plant today. Tomorrow's growth is the result of today's investment. You cannot expect success in the future if you are careless with the present. Excellence tomorrow demands diligence now. And here's the truth. Every seed carries a different kind of potential. Some seeds are meant for learning, others for building relationships, others for prayer, rest, or creativity. You must discern what season you're in so you can sow accordingly. Wasting the seed of one season can delay the fruit of the next. You are a steward of time. Every day, time gives you seeds. What you do with them is your responsibility. Will you plant them in purpose? Or will you throw them into the soil of distraction, laziness, and indecision? No one becomes successful accidentally. Their results are a harvest of wisely sound moments. So begin to see each hour as a garden, each conversation as a choice, each decision as a seed. Don't just count the hours, make the hours count, because every second holds a seed, and if you plan it right, your future will flourish in ways that cannot be denied. Time lost is destiny delayed. There is a divine schedule for every life, a timeline woven into the fabric of purpose. Every day you are given is not random, it is connected to your assignment. When you misuse or waste time, you are not just being careless, you are interfering with the rhythm of your own destiny. You are slowing down a process that was designed to move you forward. Many people believe that as long as they eventually reach their goals, the timing doesn't matter. But that is a dangerous belief. Timing matters just as much as the goal itself. Arriving late to your purpose means missing opportunities that were only available in specific seasons. There are doors that open at appointed times, and if you are not ready, if you are not where you should be, those doors can close before you even get there. When you delay progress, you invite frustration. You begin to feel stuck, not because you lack potential, but because you've allowed time to pass without planting, preparing, or positioning yourself. Mismanagement of time breeds cycles of stagnation. And the longer you delay, the more difficult it becomes to regain momentum. Time has a momentum of its own. Once it is lost, it takes more effort to regain the pace you were meant to keep. Think of time like a river. It flows whether you move with it or not. If you are not intentional, life will carry you downstream, far from the place you were designed to reach. And when you finally wake up to your purpose, you may find yourself having to swim upstream just to get back to where you should have been. That's why urgency matters. That's why discipline matters. Not because life is a race, but because destiny has windows. And some windows do not stay open forever. Every moment wasted in indecision, fear, laziness, or distraction is a moment that could have been used to build, to grow, to learn, or to move forward. You can always start again, but you cannot get the lost time back. That time belonged to a season that may never return. Delays can lead to detours, and detours can lead to discouragement. But here is the good news: while lost time delays destiny, a decision to change can realign it. You may not recover the time, but you can recover the assignment. How? By becoming a master of the present, by refusing to waste another second, by choosing to move in obedience to what you know you are supposed to do now. Redemption of time begins with repentance of waste. It requires humility to admit that you've delayed your own progress, but it also requires courage to make a shift. Don't wait until tomorrow to pursue what you were born to do today. Don't assume that opportunity will wait for your convenience. Destiny responds to readiness, and readiness is built in time. If you want to see your purpose fulfilled, honor the time you've been given. Because when you delay time, you delay purpose. And when you delay purpose, you delay everything you were born to become. Time is a gift, and like every gift, it must be respected. Respect for time is respect for life. because time is the container of all your experiences, your growth, your impact, and your legacy. When you treat time casually, you treat your future casually. When you waste time, you dishonor the opportunities and potential locked within your very existence. The tragedy is not simply in the minutes that pass unused, but in what those minutes it could have produced if they had been respected and invested. Respecting time starts with the awareness that it is limited. No matter who you are, rich or poor, young or old, you only get 24 hours in a day. No one can borrow more, and no one can store it up. Once a second passes, it is gone forever. That means every second is sacred. Every minute is precious. The person who respects time does not live by chance. They live by principle. They do not allow emotions to dictate their schedule. They understand that time doesn't wait for clarity, comfort, or convenience. It keeps moving. To respect time is to take control of it. It means you stop reacting to everything around you and start responding with intention. When you respect time, you protect your focus. You choose your conversations wisely. You guard your calendar from things that are urgent but not important. You learn to say no without guilt because you know your time is not a dumping ground for other people's priorities. It is a sacred space for purpose to unfold. People who do great things in life are not always the most talented, but they are the most intentional. They treat time as a resource, not just a rhythm. They plan, they prioritize, and they execute with discipline. They do not worship business, they honor productivity. They ask themselves not just, what am I doing, but why am I doing it? And is this the best use of my time right now? These kinds of questions are marks of maturity. Respect for time also shows up in preparation. When you prepare well, you avoid waste. Many people lose time not because they didn't work hard, but because they didn't work smart. Lack of preparation leads to confusion, delays, and missed opportunities. Preparation is one of the highest forms of respect for time because it says, I value the future enough to invest in it today. Additionally, how you treat other people's time reveals your character. Showing up late, not following through, or wasting moments in meetings reflects a lack of respect for time, not just yours, but theirs. Honor is revealed in how you treat time, both your own and that of others. Time, once lost, cannot be regained, but it can be redeemed. You redeem time by choosing from this moment forward to treat it with seriousness. Don't just count your hours. Make your hours count. Because when you respect time, time will begin to respect you. It will begin to multiply your efforts, sharpen your clarity, and bring you into alignment with your purpose. Respect time, and you will master the rhythm of success.